Right then, guys, welcome back to the Pro Talk podcast. As you can see, we've got this absolute beast of a human being in front of me, Mr. Sasan Harati, fellow trained by JP athlete. Bro, welcome to the podcast, man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on. I've been looking forward to it, even though it took us a while to get it sorted.
I mean, as standard though, bro. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you're doing something that's probably demanding a fair bit of your time and attention right now, right?
Yeah, but that's no excuse. It's just another show.
Mate, a consummate professional, just another show. I think that's, I mean, even at the top end, it's like, it must be, obviously it's your first Olympia and everything as well, isn't it? So, I mean, there's a couple of things I want to go through today, but let's obviously start off with that. It's kind of like a huge thing in any bodybuilder's life to make it to the pinnacle of our sport. It's quite literally the World Cup of bodybuilding, right? How do you feel about the fact that you're going to be on stage with, the best bodybuilders in the world, including yourself, of course?
You know, it's weird because I think with where I am at the stage I am at in my life, my age, the fact that I've got 2 kids, the fact that I've been doing this for quite a long time, it kind of like removes all the nervous type of feeling. So it's not like, oh, am I even going to do well? Am I going to look out of place? So like, I don't have any doubts because I've been working on my mindset, developing, working on myself a lot over the last couple of years, which has led me to kind of have a pretty solid mindset going into any show this year. It's been kind of like almost a mellow, level, flatline attitude all year. And honestly, that's not, I know it's the Olympia. I've got the excited side of me. That's like, this has been a dream for the last 2 decades and I'm doing it. But the majority of the day, it's like, okay, so I just need to get the meals in, train as hard as I can, peak perfectly and see where we can place. It's more of my focus is on that rather than, oh, it's the Olympia. I think all that'll kind of kick in maybe later on or even when I retire. So I think I'm kind of just tunnel vision type of strong mindset. Like, I know I can place well. I know I can be competitive. And there's just so many things I'm looking forward that I'm not letting myself get too excited or overwhelmed, really, which I prefer.
It's been evident to see. I mean, you've competed, what was it, 6 times this year? 6 shows?
6 times so far, yeah.
I mean, 6 times in any calendar year is crazy. And obviously it's going to be 7 by the time you get on the Olympia. And I think it's not just the fact that you just did 6 shows. You were obviously so close as well in those earlier shows to the qualification. And then I think, like you said about that mindset, potentially a lot of people may not have been able to handle that the way that you did, to keep coming back and not just come back, but get better as well as you did. And obviously that showed in your look every time. And as the placings went through, and then obviously to get 2 back-to-back wins to just put a little cherry on the top at the end. How did that feel?
Crazy. Oh, unreal. It was almost like I was watching it happen from outside of my body. It was like
out-of-body experience.
Hard to believe, but also felt good because I knew I'd worked for it and I earned it. And every show was like, every show made me hungrier. All those close calls just made me want it even more. It didn't knock my confidence. I didn't question the judging. I didn't read into the arguments online. I didn't really care about any of that. I just thought, right, I can beat, if I almost beat this guy, I can just keep going. And I was just so driven and so high on just wanting to do well. Even the 5th place New York didn't faze me. If anything, it fueled me even more because I thought people are going to write me off now, thinking I'm tired and my mark. And I just kept getting better. So I think I was just riding the wave.
Oh, mate, that's amazing. I think does it change your mindset in a way where, say, before this season, because you hadn't competed that much for, well, how long had it been?
6 years.
6 years. So like for you to come back in this year, there's a whole new host of bodybuilding fans. A lot of people may not have known who you were until your first show this year. So, with a lot of bodybuilders, there's a lot of hype. There's the hype train and everything. And you built your own fucking hype train this year. And obviously your stock's just gone through the roof. And I'll be honest, bro, because I've been I've known you for a very long time, and you've always had one of my favorite physiques. And I'm not just saying that because you're sat on the
No,
pod. I've
you've
said
said
that
it
to
from day
you
one.
numerous times.
Yeah, yeah,
And I loved seeing it, honestly. As a speaking to you, not as a podcaster or whatever you want to call it, but as a friend and as a bodybuilder, like genuinely, it was so good to see you come onto the not just come on the scene again, but
yeah,
just smash through the scene. Like it
yeah,
was, I
yeah.
was buzzing, mate. Every single show.
Thank you. I know you mean it. I remember that night at Jordan's birthday party. It was
Yeah,
it 2021 maybe
yeah,
22, and we had a good chat, like a really good chat. You were just telling me how you'd love to see me back up there, and you said these
yeah.
same things. And back then I was in two minds still. I wasn't really sure what I
I
was going to
remember.
do. But it was guys like yourself, just comments. Every now and then, no one let me forget. No one let me drift. Everyone just, every now and then, someone would pop up and say, can't wait to see you on stage again. And
Yeah,
it kept me going. And then I'm glad, because that's why I'm so grateful to everyone, because everyone's had my back. They didn't let me, they didn't forget me. The longer I stayed
mate.
away, the people just
It it would have
in
been a
touch.
travesty. It would have been a
Yeah,
travesty if you never
yeah,
returned to the stage, bro.
yeah,
Look at what you've come back and done in one season. Like it's
yeah.
crazy, man.
I
It's
needed to do
crazy.
it. I needed
Yeah,
to
oh
do it.
mate. I think
Yeah,
the thing is as well, I bet there were probably periods of time where people were saying that to you, maybe like when I did in 21, 22, where you could have come back then, but you can't come back just being physically ready. You obviously have to come back up there. And obviously I assume at that point, were building your family, concentrating on building
yeah,
your business and getting
yeah.
life into a good spot. And what do you feel like was the turning point for you to be like, yeah, let's go?
You know what? It was just pure um, void. Like it was that
Mm,
void. I had started to miss it straight away, and because I didn't stop like with 100% like decision to it wasn't like, right, I'm done. It was more, okay, I don't know where I am right now, so I need to change my direction, because I was losing focus on why I was doing it. I was
yeah.
focusing on the wrong things. I wanted prize money. I wanted wins, and I thought they owed me wins. So my mindset
Mm,
was just way off who I was as a person, and I wasn't happy. So Leanne just said it to me one day. She's like, "You're not happy. You don't see it, but you're not happy." So I decided to stop, focus on the coaching, focus on starting a family. And then along the way, I got comfortable just not competing. I got comfortable getting back into just being the guy who went to train. Yeah, I'm still a bodybuilder, but just wasn't as a competitive.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but then as my coaching business grew, and I was helping these guys get on stage, and a lot of them were doing well, and then I had my kid, it was starting to, like, I was getting so comfortable that the reasons why I started in the first place starting to just flood back slowly.
Mm,
So that passion started to come alive again. The cloud started to disappear, and I started to think, right, it was slowly like thinking, if I don't do this one more time, what am I gonna, when I'm 60, I'm just gonna hate myself, because I'm that kind
mate,
of person. I know if
100%.
I can do something and I don't do it, I'm going to blame myself for the rest of my life. So that would have eaten away at me.
Yeah,
So that
that regret,
was the
that regret. Yeah.
100%. And seeing and just watching the sport evolve, seeing people compete, seeing people I grew up with compete and get to the Olympia,
Mm,
I started to think, you know what, I have a talent, and I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to waste it without being big headed. I felt like I was born to do this. So I had way more to offer, and I just didn't want to waste it. So it was just that pure element of, I don't want that regret, because it will completely
mate.
destroy me in the future.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you
Yeah.
made that decision, but also the fact that it wasn't just a knee-jerk decision. You know, you thought about it. I mean, 6 years
Oh,
you thought about it, bro.
oh,
You thought about it, and
so much.
it's not like you were off like mucking around. Like you said, you're still a gym bro. You're going to train. You're still coaching. You're focusing on important life things like building a family. But you just kept the fact that you just kept training, eating the food, all the basic fundamentals that will never leave us because it's who we are as
Yeah,
bodybuilders, right?
yeah,
And I think
100%,
that's the thing.
100%.
some guys can probably take a break from the stage, and then, you know, if they wanted to come back in 2-3 years time, they've lost too much because they haven't continued living that lifestyle. But that's not obviously what you've done. And I think a lot of what you said there, and obviously with your partner Leanne, you know, telling you she can see that you weren't happy in certain things. And I think the mental side of bodybuilding is probably the biggest thing to overcome, especially when you're taking it to the place where you've taken it to now. You know, you're a high-end competitive bodybuilder, and you are now competing for prize money. You've probably, I wouldn't know what it would be, but probably done all right this year, right?
Yeah, I've done all right. I gifted myself the McLaren to give myself a pat on the back. It's because
I love
I
that.
was in a position, I had to be in a position. I promised myself when I stopped that when I compete again, I'm not going to rely on sponsors and prize money. I'm gonna build my business so that when I compete, it's going to be pure competitive drive and passion. It's not going to be any other reason where it's going to make me bitter when I lose. So that was one of the conditions, and I did that so that now everything's a bonus. You know, Jordan and Corin still believed in me, so they didn't let go, which was a huge backing.
Yeah.
And they backed me all year, so everything I got on stage was just, that's why I just kept getting better, because it was just a high. It was such a high. I wasn't doing it for any other reason, but I've got a point to prove to myself, and I don't want to let all the people who've supported me down, and I need to be the best I can be as a bodybuilder. So
that's so powerful, because I think especially with a lot of the younger guys nowadays, and I know because I've been there, just like you were there before, is that you're almost doing it for the, I don't want to say for the wrong reasons, but there's elements of worse reasons in there that you're fighting. You know, am I doing this for the right or the wrong? Am I enjoying it? You know, over the pros outweighing the cons, sort of thing. Because with bodybuilding, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, as we know. If you want to go and build a family, you're going to have to go and do that. Take some time out. There's the health concerns, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's a serious sport. But I think, and yeah, mate, honestly, to hear you come back, and, you know, I love the fact that you bought the McLaren, bro. Honestly, that's so cool. How is it anyway? Just talk to me about that for a sec. Are you having a lot of fun?
It's an experience every day I sit in it. It's a pinch myself moment. Yeah, you know what, they gave me that same model to live with for a day. Just I was only planning on going to just to see them, see what it's like. It was more of it was in the middle of all my shows, so I think I was just looking for a distraction.
Yeah. So you got a big distraction, bright orange.
Yeah. I mean, when people have their prep purchases and little addictions, I think I went a bit overboard.
Yeah, that's up there.
I messaged Rick, my friend Richard Foster Strom.
Yeah,
when I was in New York, I just said, "Do you know anyone I can just rent a supercar for a weekend? I want to rent a car and have some fun in between all these shows. I need something to kind of have fun with and let blow off some steam." And he said, "I don't know if they'll lend you one, but my friend, my salesman friend at McLaren Manchester, he can show you around. Maybe he'll let you drive one for a couple of hours."
Nice.
So he put me in touch. As soon as I got back from New York, I went to McLaren Manchester, which is only 10 minutes from me. And Ben at McLaren just said, "Well, here you go." He gave me the keys to a GT. He's like, "Just take it." Like, he knew what he was doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he said,
that's the best way to sell, right? Just take the keys, man.
Yeah. Honestly, all the cars I've had in the past, if you want a test drive, they have to sit with you. You know, certain routes you can't go down. And McLaren just said, "Here you go, take this car, bring it back tomorrow morning." And I was flying to LA the next morning, so I said, "I've got to bring it back tonight." And that was it. It was easier to live with than so many little hot hatches I've had in the past.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was comfortable. Getting into it's a bit hard because it's very low. But the seats,
especially after leg day, like fuck.
Yeah, leg day is horrible. You have to roll out of it.
Oh man.
It's low, but it's comfortable. It's spacious. The GT is a bit like a daily. It's like a daily friendly supercar. It's got a boot. We'll
call it a daily.
Yeah, daily. It's as daily as a supercar can get.
Yeah. So you can get a bag of shopping in the back.
Yeah. Oh, you can get a bag. You can get a couple of bags. Yeah, it's very
nice.
Apparently, you can fit a set of golf clubs in the back. It's got like a hatch.
And it's got keep that for retirement.
Yeah. I don't think I can swing a golf. But
that's not going very far.
Hey,
I was going to say that golf club isn't getting around very
No,
far, is it?
no. I'll probably tear my shoulder out of place. But
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
that
not
was.
do that.
I've always wanted one. I've been into cars since I could walk. I've loved cars all my life, and I've always craved that kind of speed and
Well,
handling.
and you've worked for it, man. And the thing is, you can say you literally fucking earned it. You literally
I
earned it
know.
via hard work, and it's cool to
Yeah,
see. That's
yeah.
the epitome of like you see something in the vision and you put the work in to get there, and you've completely gone and done that. So it's a massive inspiration for all of us guys who are just trying to climb the rungs of the bodybuilding ladder. And it's kind of like it's also showing that it doesn't just happen. Like you've put in some serious work to get to that over a long period of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Losses that go alongside wins, close calls that are just as hard to take. There, if not even harder, to be honest.
Very
When
hard.
you come so close, talk
Yeah,
about FIBA another day, eh?
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
do you know?
it's been a long road, and there's probably more downs than ups.
Of course,
I think what people don't see is just the non-stop hustle. Like, I don't mean
yeah,
hustle. It just you shouldn't stop. You should just keep chasing. Like, no
mm,
matter how many knockbacks, the mindset was a big one for me. Back in 2018, I didn't have half the mindset I have today. I arguably had a more complete physique because I was younger, I was fuller, I was rounder, I had my lats, my arms were bigger, but I didn't have it there. Like, I was mentally just nowhere near strong enough
mm,
to keep going. In the last few years, my mentality's gone from, oh, I need a break or I need a day off, to I'm not working hard enough. Like, I'm not working
mm.
enough. I don't need a day off. I haven't had a Christmas morning off in the last 4 years from work. Like, I
Wow,
don't want a day off. I don't even,
yeah.
my mindset is, if I was sat on a beach and I had nothing to do, I think I would go a little bit crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
just
so
flick the
I'm
switch.
so yeah, I'm so addicted to just not just bodybuilding, but everything I can do today, tonight, now to improve myself, whether it's read a book, audiobook, podcast, YouTube. I,
Mm,
I, I drove to Jordan's gym for a photo shoot, and I was in 4 hours worth of traffic on the way back. So I learned I learned about the stock market like as much as I could within 4 hours.
yeah, nice.
Like, that's where my
Filling time
mind,
voids.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what changed. And bodybuilding and the food and the cardio all of a sudden became like easy. Like, it was
yeah,
like,
that's just a
this
thing
is,
you do.
yeah,
Yeah,
I need to be
yeah.
way more on top of this now. This is nothing for
Mm,
me. Like, all those, I fly back to the UK, back to America 3 days later, and I didn't stop. I didn't stop working. I didn't stop learning. Nothing stops. And I think that's the mindset that took me from just being very good to really realizing my potential. And everyone I
mm,
know that's successful, any client I've had that's wealthy or just done really well in what they're doing, Jordan, for example, they do not stop. Like, there is no,
so true.
everyone's like, I need 8 hours of sleep a night. Why? Yeah, obviously, as bodybuilders, we do.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
why you don't need weekends, you don't need 8 hours sleep a night. Get 6 hours
Mm,
sleep, have one day off. Those extra few hours, an extra day, you're gonna get way more done. Like, people underestimate how much they can do.
that's
And that's
very
what,
true. That's very true.
yeah, that's the biggest. I mean, some people don't, but my happiness now comes from my my missus and my kids being happy and stress
Mate, that
free.
that that's so nice to hear because you've worked so hard to get to a point where
Yeah,
you're financially comfortable. You don't have to
yeah.
worry about things. You can now, and that's probably another big thing that's helped you become a better bodybuilder because you don't have those external. I mean, I'm sure obviously we've all got life stresses, no doubt. One stress turns into something different, but I guess the man that you were in 2018 had different worries and troubles than you do today, I would imagine.
Oh, mate, it was yeah. There was no worries. It was almost like the worries came from,
Self-inflicted.
yeah, not having
Yeah,
much to do. Like, it was a
yeah,
totally different life. I
yeah,
didn't have the kids. We didn't have this house. I didn't have the multiple incomes I have. I didn't. There was
yeah,
no responsibility almost. So I
yeah,
almost we make up stress in our heads. It's like
yeah, yeah,
road rage is stress we've made in our head out of nothing.
yeah.
There's
That's
no
so
need for
true.
it. So that applies to everything. The amount of stuff I do from the second I wake up at 5 a.m. till I go to bed, it's just, there is no time in between. And for some reason, this is when I've become the best bodybuilder I can be, which if you told me in 2018, Sass, you're going to have to control this many clients, you're going to have to, you know, earn money from this other way of working, and you're going to have this mortgage, you're going to have two boys on the 6 to deal with, which Leanne does anyway, but I would have looked at you and thought, there's no way I can be a good bodybuilder, because how am I going to prep?
Yeah.
How am I going to off season? But all
Looking now,
that is
going to Olympia.
yeah. But I think that's what's made me. Yeah, that's what's made me. It's almost like it's.
Do you think there was obviously maybe a gradual change, but do you think there was a specific thing? Do you think having children was a big part to play in that, where it's grown up, it's made you grown up to be like, well, I have some rather large responsibilities now that I'm not as important anymore. I am important, but I have to take things in my life to a certain level to now look after them as well as obviously my partner. Yeah,
absolutely. It became almost like you're gonna have to man up now.
Yeah. No more excuses. No more bullshit.
Because I wanted Leanne to stay home and not go back to work, so she can give 100% care and attention to the boys, and in return I can do what I need to do. So I needed to step up, you know, because she wasn't gonna get her salary anymore. And then I thought, you know what? There's two humans now that are going to rely on me. Before, there was no one needed to rely on me. Like if I disappeared, Leanne could have been self-sufficient. You know, there's no one else really that would have been impacted. But now I've got these two boys, and if I remove myself from the picture, how are they gonna, gonna become the men that I want? So I need to make sure that they're not just healthy and happy. I need to make sure that they are, they get the best start they can get. They've got choices. They've got freedom. I don't want them to be stuck in the system, so to speak. Like I need them.
No, I understand.
I can die a happy man knowing that they are, and even their kids are going to have options.
Nice.
Even though, okay, I don't need to, but when they turn 20, 25, I want them to have, without them knowing it, I want them to have like the option of buying a house, car, getting qualification, going out and investing in themselves so they can get a nice head start. I don't want them to have to. That's probably the main thing, and a lot of guys, maybe that's not enough, but I think with me, the role just felt right. Like I thought, right, I've got a purpose. Like I've got a bigger purpose than just me.
That's the thing I've heard a lot of other fathers say is it takes you from being almost a boy to a man, and purpose is the word that I've heard a lot of other fathers say, and it just helps you level up to a level that you didn't even know was there.
Purpose. The world can be very cruel. Like life is cruel most of the time. Everything people get hurt with, anxiety, depression, like it's 90% of life. So I have to do my very best to protect my kids and make sure that they are strong and they are healthy and they have options, they have freedom, so that they don't get crushed by life. So that's the way I see it.
Mate,
because
that's nice to hear, man. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I love that. I think
it's a huge for a Wednesday.
No, mate. To be honest, when I spoke to James, we went pretty deep as well, and I think bodybuilding isn't just, and I do want to talk about training and diet and bodybuilding stuff because I'm a bodybuilding fan, but I'm also I like those deep chats because at the end of the day, that's the stuff that we do, the bodybuilding stuff, but we got to have some kind of sense of understanding of our emotional, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, sides, because that's the bit that's going to break when shit gets hard, or the bit that's going to hold up when shit gets hard, as you've just kind of demonstrated quite nicely there with the, I guess, analogy of the building yourself via the family, giving yourself purpose, which is amazing. So
you have to, you'll get crushed. I think we all deal with anxiety and stress, but we have to learn to welcome it to make us be strong, like want to be stronger, like to beat it.
Yeah.
So I want to get all the stress, I want to get all the pain and all the anxiety so that the kids and Leanne don't, so they can be happy.
Yeah.
makes me happy. So that's what drives me now. So, and I'm content. I don't need to do anything else.
I love that, man. And I think talking then about training stuff, obviously I want to talk to you about how that's changed for you over the past few years. Because I know obviously you have a certain style of training, certain way that you like to do things, but how is it, let's say 2018 SAS versus and before versus 20 or previous, like up to now SAS? How have things changed? What's things like now? And how's that transition been? Or do you just do exactly the same stuff,
Yeah, you know what? It's almost the answer is kind of broadly, I do the same. But the thing with me and my training is, from the start, I was very good at being in tune with my body. So even if I was given a plan with a set number of sets and reps and weight, as I was going through it, I was very good at listening to my body and how it felt, what's working, what's hurting, what feels good, what doesn't, where's the pump, like I was very aware, and I let myself override the plan. That's why no one could tell me how to train. I've tried, I've been to coaches. So I just, even like as a person, I couldn't even, the only job I had, the only office job, my boss couldn't tell me what to do. I was too stubborn, because all throughout when I was a kid in school, I was a follower. And then all of a sudden I found bodybuilding and sports, and physically I thrived. Physically I loved it. And then as I was being physical, I didn't let anyone tell me what to do, because, as an Iranian kid coming to England, I got pushed around a bit. I didn't know any English. I was a bit chubby. So I was always kind of at the back of the crowd. So when I found my speech,
found your voice.
Found my voice, and then that was it. No one could tell me otherwise. So with training, it's the same thing. So if I've got the best trainer on the planet trying to tell me to do something, I'm still kind of thinking, but does that feel right to me? And then even if I don't say anything to him, I'll go away and I'll just forget what he said because it didn't feel good. And if it felt good, then I'll. So over the years, I've been very good at evolving, getting better at fine tuning my volume, my exercise selection, my rep range. So it almost changes. It can change within a session. Like I can go in with one idea of, all right, I'm going to do my usual moderate volume that I've been doing, 2 work sets. And then, but as I'm going through the session, I might feel like I need to back off a little bit on the volume because recovery hasn't, So my basic principles haven't really changed. Like recently I switched over to push-pull legs after July, my last show in July, Spain. I just felt like it was going to benefit me through that rebound.
What were you doing on prep before?
I've always done the kind of your typical bro split. Kind of like, a customized, modified bro split, because I added a little bit of lats to my shoulder day because my lats have been weak for the last couple of years. And a little bit of chest overlap on an arm day at the end of the week because my upper chest was a little bit weak. But other than that, it was kind of your typical single body part. And that's what it's always been over the last 25 years. It's been kind of the same thing. Other than the first couple of years where you just kind of did everything every day because I didn't know what else to do.
So imagine if you tried to do that now, you'd be done in about a week.
I know, I don't even pull legs was a stretch. So I kind of switched to push legs. Towards the end of my prep, the last few shows, because I was traveling so much, my training schedule was just way out of sync.
Imagine just trying to get it done where you could.
I was just, so when I was in the gym, I thought I can't just do chest. I need to do more body parts. So, and I don't really have the energy because I was traveling so much. I was constantly jet lagged for weeks. I was only going to do one set. Like I've got one set to do on chest, and then I'm going to do one set on front delts. So it became, right, I'm going to do push-pull legs because that's the most efficient. So I adapted. And then post Spain, I thought I'm going to carry this on with the low volume because just for recovery purposes, I'm going to do one set. Yeah, it felt good, and I liked going in and knowing that I've only got one set. And I just because I don't usually do that. And I did that for a good 6 weeks, up 7, maybe even 8 weeks, up to about 2 weeks ago. But that was kind of it. And my body was starting to give me signs that it didn't like the frequency as much anymore. I had to kind of go back to once a week, or at least my 5-day split, and I'll take a rest day as and when. Just because my shoulder and arm days aren't super heavy. So my chest, back, and leg days are quite heavy. So then I've got those other 2 days kind of as a back off. So then when I get back around to back, I can go heavy again without my joints screaming at me.
So you do on your body part split. Sorry to jump in there, but on your body part split, do you do 5 sessions within that? Is it? 7? Is it a 7-day split with 5 sessions?
Well, it usually is, but because I went to a 6-day split, push-pull legs after Spain. And I just wanted to train, and it was low volume anyway, so I felt like
you could do 6 on the bounce. You got more food in you.
Yeah, the only difference was legs was split, so it was push, pull, push, quads, pull, push, hamstrings and glutes. Just because my legs don't really need that much, and my knees are pretty bad.
You don't need too much more quad, bro.
no, I'm still
quads are crazy.
Yeah,
mate, you've probably got some of the best quads in the game, legit, and the condition your quads get into as well. When you do that, like the leg flex with the straightened knee, that's wild, man. The feathers all down the side. And not a lot of people get that kind of plastic look. It's genuinely very, very cool to see.
I know, they've been crazy. They've been like that for at least 12 years now. They're just kind of getting shaped. But yeah, that
Iranian was genetics.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? It's the detail, those Persians.
Yeah.
So it was a 6-day split with a Sunday off. So when I went back to single body part, I kind of thought I still want to do 6 days. So what I did was the 5 days and then day 1 again, and then rest.
Right.
One body part is getting done twice a week at the moment, type of thing.
Yeah, got you.
But I'm never against those days where I wake up and I know I need a rest. Not just because I'm tired or I'm aching. Like, you just know, like, it's not right. So I'll throw in an extra rest day as and when I really need it. It's pure instinct at this point.
It's refreshing to hear that. It really is, because I'd probably say over the past maybe year or 2, I've started to be a little bit more like that. And I think a lot of bodybuilders out there, because we're almost taught in a way that we have to be extremely regimented to the T of the plan, right? And I think what you're saying there is essentially, yes, that's the case, but have a little bit of wiggle room in it so that you can, if you extend that kind of time horizon, everything you're doing is then done at a slightly higher level because you've got more energy to do it. You're probably still doing the same amount of work over this period of time. You just allowed yourself to shuffle things about from a volume, frequency, that kind of perspective. And it's allowed you to lower the stress as well, I imagine.
Mate, and at this point of my career, it's very much about injury prevention.
Not breaking, yeah.
Not breaking, yeah. So, I've been training for 27 years with weights.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Almost non-stop. I've had time off, but my joints, they're not in a bad way. Like, I've not had any major injuries. My shoulder's really bad. I can't really do a conventional shoulder press anymore, but and I've been working around that for 10 years, but I need to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my training sessions without causing more fatigue and wear and tear that's going to hurt me later on in the prep or in the off season. So I need to really fine tune that balance of volume and and load and intensity, and that has to be able to change almost daily sometimes. So I'll analyze how I trained today, how I felt, how strong I was, how much pump I got, how much endurance I had, and then I will carry that on into tomorrow's session and decide as I go. So it's the best, because I can go and follow a really good plan, but it will either end up hurting me or I might end up bored. There's always going to be pros and cons. So if there's a plan out there that might make me way bigger than my own plan in the next 6 months, there'll be other factors that might slow me down. Like, I might just not enjoy it.
I think based off what you've said, there isn't a plan out there. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
it's the way you've done things now for, like you say, 27 years, or you've learned for over 27 years to run things a certain way that quite clearly is working. Now you've managed
yeah,
to get to the. Are you still working with Chris on the food side of things?
yeah, Chris. Yeah, well, going back to saying I can't be told what to do. Chris is the only guy.
Yeah.
Um, but because he's very much like me in terms of dieting, he doesn't tell me how to train.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, I remember when we first got together, I said to him, "How about training?" You know, because he gave me my diet, and he said, "Well, you've built this physique with your own training, so I don't see why you need to change it." Because I didn't have any flaws, I didn't have any weak
Yeah.
body parts, and that was refreshing to me because I didn't want to be told to
Yeah.
change my train. That's my fun. That's my therapy.
Mm.
You know, it's like I don't need to be told how to enjoy my, you know, stress-free time in the gym. So
Do you
yeah,
know what,
he
man?
doesn't tell me. Yeah, and he doesn't really. We don't really do off season together, so it's only really from 10 weeks out. So I get to
Yeah.
10 weeks out. I email Chris. He takes over the diet, and even then, we're pretty much on the same wavelength most of the time.
Nice.
I never question him. I never doubt him. There's just 100% trust. I think because I got with him so early on. I got with him the year before I went pro, 2014, and he's the only coach I've
Wow.
had.
I
So
didn't realize it was that long. Jesus.
yeah, that long. And even the 6 years I
Wow.
had off, we kept talking. You know, it wasn't about bodybuilding. We talked about property because he's massive in the property game, and we talked
Nice.
about business and families and kids, and you know,
Mm.
we've stayed in touch for 11 years. So it's almost just I don't even
So
have to
there's a
think with
bond.
Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more than you could tell. You could someone could come to me and say, "Look, you get with such and such a coach, and he will guarantee you'll get third place at the Olympia." I won't do it because it's way more than
Mm.
that to me now. Like Chris means
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
that.
No, I
Um,
love to hear that. Loyalty and a bond.
yeah, you have to have that in this world because
Yeah,
otherwise, you know, it's a bit of a crazy world now, as we've all seen. So we need to try and
indeed.
remember, you know, loyalty and beliefs and respect and morals and
Yeah,
just
for
kind of
sure,
the
man. I love
whole
that.
the honor code, and it's just none of all that's disappearing. So we need to somehow grab onto it
That's
and
it.
pass it on to the kids.
No, I'm sure you will, as with everything that you've said as well about passing that sort of stuff down. And I think sometimes it's almost unwritten or unsaid, like you're just doing it. You know what I mean? You're just leading with that example, and it's easy to see from the outside looking in how you kind of handle business. You're like, obviously, we're talking about it now because it's quite literally the point of a
Yeah,
podcast. But a
yeah,
lot of the time, you don't need to say those things because you can just see that you're doing it, you're living it out in your life, right?
yeah. I mean, I've come a long way mentally. Like I said, I've had to really develop my mindset a lot
Mm.
to bring yourself out of that kind of child selfish, you
Mm.
know, me, and more into just right. I need to look after my crew, my clan, my family. I need to make sure they're safe.
Yeah.
You know, we go back to the caveman days. It was, you know, it was you or them, so you have to look after your own. You know,
That's it.
um,
Kill or be killed,
yeah,
so
exactly. I
to
mean,
speak.
it's
Yeah.
not literal, but you know, if you don't make that, if you don't get that paycheck, someone else will. So you have to make
Yeah.
sure you're doing everything you can, and that keeps you driving forward. That stops me from sitting and letting myself feel all the negative stuff of life. You know, like
Mm. You just
everything's negative.
keeping it moving. Yeah. So
Yeah,
true.
you have to. You have to.
What about let me go back to Chris again. Does he help you out with like the PED side of things, or do you run all that
Oh
yourself?
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Chris,
that's cool.
up until Chris, it was more, you know, it was like the bro science.
Yeah, yeah.
I grew up around bros. Like I didn't. Obviously, I looked up the magazines and I did all my own research. I learned as much as I could, but I was surrounded by big guys in my gym that trained like the way I do
Yeah.
now. It was kind of volume, bro split, you know, eat every 3 hours. Very basic, very simple, very enjoyable almost. Just not overthinking it. And then when I got with Chris, he was pretty much the same. He was conservative with the PEDs, so which I was glad with. And he promised me from
Yeah.
day one, he said, you can be the best bodybuilder. We'll make you the best bodybuilder you can be, but I'll make sure you've got a life after it, which meant a lot to me.
That's nice to hear. It's good to hear that.
It meant a lot to me, and obviously there's times we have to push it, like the last 6 weeks of prep. There's no way around it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But the difference he made was off season. He really held me back from doing stuff I was seeing people around me do. And at the time, I was
smashing
a
the
bit
insulin and running
the
crazy high
growth and
doses,
the trend,
training
and
the off season.
yeah. He kept that away. Like, he almost made me do TRT for most of the first portion of the off season. Then he would start to build it all up. And
nice.
When I left him, we only did like 1 or 2 off seasons together. So when I left him off season, I kind of followed the same principles.
Yeah.
Even when I tried for myself to push the envelope a bit, I might have gotten thicker and heavier and fuller and stronger, but there was a lot of other side effects that I didn't like. The sleep, the digestion, the mobility, the fitness. All these things come together when you're training as a bodybuilder, not a weightlifter, as a bodybuilder. And I needed all those things on my side, digestion and sleep being very, very key, and organ health. It's all linked together. So you can't just throw everything in the basket and hope for the best, because
we've all done it. We've all done it.
Yeah, we have. We learn that way. But Chris luckily taught me, like, it could have easily gone a different route if I hadn't met Chris, I think, because everyone around me was smashing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's let me ride it out to now without any major kind of setbacks. And I'm turning 40 now, and I feel great. Like, I feel really good. I feel like I can keep going, and it's a lot of it is thanks to Chris in that sense. So I still listen to him with the PD advice up until show day, and then afterwards I kind of just take it on my own.
How's it looked from? Obviously, I imagine this year it was show to show to show to show, so it would probably be relatively sat in that stressful environment for that period of time. Yeah. Did you come off or down to sort of TRT? I imagine for a little bit after, a bit of a clear out, because then obviously you then got to build it back up for the Olympia. How things looked from that? I guess from not just PEDs, but from an overall perspective. I know you mentioned training, but how was that transition from? Because a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that and then be like, fuck, I'm competing again in, what was it, 5 months? It's not out of 20 weeks. It's not long. How have you handled that transition phase and then to come in at your best for the Olympia?
Yeah. So I think we have to say that the 6 years I had off kind of reset my body quite a bit. I wasn't off PEDs, but I wasn't doing anywhere near what I would have been if I was competing and I was doing, full-blown off seasons. I kind of just did the whole, 12 weeks on, a few weeks off,
the old school,
the gym rat stuff, just to keep me like afloat at like 240, 250, and
nice.
keep me kind of relevant within my own comfort zone at that point.
Yeah.
So coming into 2024 season, I was probably very fresh anyway. And then 2024, we did a pretty long prep because I was trying to do the Arnold Classic, which I didn't get the invite for. So we kind of ended up doing like a 25-week prep instead of a 12-week prep for Arnold. And then so I did Spain. And then after Spain, I had a break. So July 24, I probably had about a 6 to 8 week break where I like to just do nothing for 4 weeks and then TRT for like 4 to 6 weeks, get some bloods done, and then start to taper up. But I'll start low. It's not like I'll go from TRT to 1.5 grams blast. I'll add like 200 milligrams at a time every couple of weeks and just build it up. That way I can sustain it all year into my prep and shows. But up until December, so we got to December just before 2025 started, and I kind of had this, I guess, tradition back when I was competing. December was like just off for me. No matter what was going on, unless I was prepping for a show, December I would say to myself, like, no PDs, no gym. Only go if you really want to go.
Yeah. Don't feel stressed.
December, no gym, no PEDs, no forcing food. Like the complete opposite of what most people probably would.
Yeah.
Knowing that January I might be prepping, most people would be like, right, we need to get everything in place.
Pre-prep, yeah.
So I was like, no. Because at that point I was heavy. I knew that my digestion had taken a hit from July to November. I was pushing hard. I was like 280, my heaviest ever. Food was very high. It was like over 7,000 calories a day. So I knew I needed to just give my body a complete break. So
on that honey life, isn't it, bro? I've seen on the stories the honey life.
No, the honey is crazy. I don't even know how that's escalated, but yeah. So December was just. I think I trained maybe 4 times throughout the whole of the month. Didn't force anything food wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, I lost some weight. Didn't feel very great because it's not what we're used to having. It's not what we're used to feeling every day as bodybuilders. But I kind of welcome it after all these years. It's kind of nice to just not have to grind it out. So then come January, I wasn't planning on doing Detroit at first. It was going to be more Pittsburgh. It was like May time that I was going to jump into shows. So I had in my head, I had a lot longer than I thought. And then I remember Fouad messaged me at the end of December, and he said, I posted an old picture from my prep the year before, and I think he thought it was current. So he messaged me and said, Sass, you look great. Why don't you jump into my show in March? And I didn't want to say that, I don't look great. I just kind of went along with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought, hey, it's Fouad. He's a show promoter and he's messaging me. So, I need to take this as a sign. So I said, oh, okay. So I said, let me see what I can do travel wise and I'll get back to you. So I went and emailed Chris. I said, Chris, do you mean we can be ready in 11 weeks? I was soft. I hadn't eaten much. I hadn't been on, I hadn't done anything.
Yeah. I love that.
I sent Chris pictures. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Obviously, Chris, he doesn't say no to a challenge.
As soon as he's like, yeah, I bet you were like, fucking, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It switched. In fact, sorry, I think I had about 14 weeks, but I was starting fresh. So I'd already lost my off-season weight, most of it.
Yeah.
So I spent 3 weeks getting that back up to 275, 280. And then I handed things over to Chris. And by 2 weeks out, I was ready. It was like my body was just responding. It was crazy because we didn't do cardio. He didn't add any cardio so we started prep at 11 weeks out. He made 2 food changes in the next 7 weeks. 2 food cuts.
That's nuts.
I started on with a bit of T3. He removed that by 6 weeks out. He ended up taking that out because I was responding so well. I was on 500
too fast.
Yeah. No cardio. I think we did. He said on a rest day, go for a walk with your dog, and that was it. No cardio on training day until about 5 weeks out. We did maybe 4 sessions of 30-minute easy cardio in the morning, and then he took that back out, and that was it. I barely did any cardio. The PEDs were possibly the lowest they had been for a few preps.
Wow.
Like stuff like GH didn't go in till 8 weeks out because I didn't have any when I started the prep. Trend didn't go in till 5 weeks out. It went in at 150 and it peaked at 250.
That's so nice to hear that. And I think other people should take heed, listen to what Sass is saying in terms of dosages there.
Yeah, most people won't believe it. Honestly, like me and Chris laughed today. Like we will say, oh, he said last week, he said, maybe I should make you, I didn't take Clen. He said, maybe I should let you take a Clen so that we can tell people that you've been on Clen at least. No one's going to believe you.
That you've never done it, that you've not done it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Honestly, you've not done Clen. That's probably.
I don't do Clen.
That's mad. Any reason why? Any specific reason why you don't do Clen?
So basically, because I was dropping body fat so easily, and Chris ended up taking T3 out, he mentioned Clen, and I said, to be honest, it makes me feel weird, this batch I've got. So he said, all right, we don't need to use it. And, I still got shredded on the most amount of food I've ever eaten. The carbs didn't go below 400. I was having 1,000-gram carb days every 3 days. It was just a weird prep. And I think everything came together, the mindset, the drive, the vision. And then also because I wasn't doing stuff like T3 and Clen, my sleep was amazing. I'm a good sleeper anyway. but that was keeping me very fresh. And because I wasn't having to do cardio, my fatigue wasn't high.
Yeah.
I just felt, I didn't even
Nice
feel like I
place
was
to be.
it didn't feel, I didn't feel any hunger till 3 weeks out. And I didn't
Yeah,
even
that must
really
have felt like didn't even feel like you're on prep. You're like, what the hell? I've got time.
that's,
You know, you could get up.
that's
I don't
it.
have to go do cardio. I can just do my work. You know, go gym
Exactly.
in the
Obviously,
afternoon, whatever.
yeah. It
Pills.
hit, the dark days did hit when we were really digging for that last bit of condition,
Yeah. Mm.
but they didn't last very long. And he would give me a high day before it got too hard. And so my point is, this is why by the time I got to Detroit, I felt great. Like I could go and
Imagine.
train full strength in the gym, full volume. I didn't feel brittle and weak like I usually do at showtime. So that's when I knew that I can do more shows. Like I can really string together a few shows because I don't feel tired at all. The only thing that made me tired was the travel. So
Yeah.
going back to your question, I think the way we managed so many shows was that I didn't stress my body trying to get into the condition. So my first show was almost like a 10-week out point in prep again. So
Yeah.
I knew I had a long runway, and that just coupled with my mind just being in such a good place, and I think everything just pieced together really nicely.
Was it nice for you to come back and compete this year, 2025? Well, obviously it was, but like, how did it feel to be like, right, second? You know, you're coming into these shows, you obviously don't know where you know that you're in a really good spot, but you don't know where you're going to come. But then to actually get the recognition from the judges, you know, you get that that second place in your first show. That must have given you some serious confidence going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, going into the show, you kind of analyze, you know, who can I beat? Like, okay, so Bonak's doing the show, so he's the guy to beat. So what I was like, me and Chris were talking like, what poses can I possibly beat Bonak? It was never like I can beat Bonak, not in my mind anyway. It was more like I want to see how good I can be if I can stand next to Bonak. But when we got there and then we did prejudging, we went backstage after prejudging, we were getting ready to go back to the hotel. Bonak came up to me from behind and he said, I think you've got this. And I was just turned around and I started laughing. And I was like, no,
Wow.
you're William Bonak. He goes, well, either way, it's going to be me and you battling out tonight. And that's when it kind of I thought, wow. And then I got out into the corridor and I had so many people coming over, Samson, Ben Chow, like all my friends saying, Sass,
Yeah.
like it's
What the
close. And I was
fuck?
like, wow, this is like,
Yeah.
and then I went back to the hotel and I just kept saying to myself, like, what the hell? What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
how am I so close to one of the
Yeah.
best ever?
Yeah.
And one of the best
One of the
Bonaks
all-time
we've seen
greats.
for a while as well. Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
that's
and
when
that's the thing as well. He has been incredible this year. Like his comeback has
unreal.
been so. You're not beating a bad Bonac. You're competing with a very very good Bonac. And mate, I think that just shows from what you just said there. Just shows how like maybe much more mature you are now and how humble you are because you didn't even maybe think you were as good as you actually are until you've been out there. Do you know what I mean? You're not an Instagram person who's like you've been chatted up and all this kind of stuff. You've come and you've only kind of realized your potential at this stage after doing the do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Not very
It's
often that
almost,
happens.
it's almost the opposite for me. I think I get written off a lot on Instagram because my pictures don't look as they look good, but they don't look as crazy as some of the others. So
Yeah,
people don't. So it was definitely an eye opener. I think it was a shock in a good way. It wasn't a shock like, wow, I'm really that good. It was more a confirmation for me to say, right, now you are reaching your potential that I knew in the back of my
yeah,
mind that was there. It was almost like this is what you've done all this for. This is why you've come back.
yeah.
So when I got
That
on the plane, yeah, when I got on the plane on the way home from Detroit, and I was like, and then I was thinking, what am I going to do next? Is it going to be like, and then I thought, FIBO, 2 weeks. It's a no brainer. Like I
it
was getting
is. Why not?
messages. My Instagram was blowing up. My social media was going crazy. And I thought, I need to use
I
this
bet it
hype.
did. Yeah,
It made,
yeah.
it made me feel good. And I thought, I need to get back out there. I'm gonna do FIBO, and then FIBO was just another story, and that was it.
With the shows, did you obviously did 6 shows? Did you look ahead and think I might do that, or did you just plan the one show at a time and be like, I'll do that and then see where we go? Is that kind of what you did?
All I knew was I needed to do a couple of shows. Like I needed to be, because I've always been the guy who does one show, maybe 2, and then I disappear.
Yeah,
and I knew I needed to change that. Even last year when I did my comeback show, Tyler Mannion was judging Spain. I came 4th. Bonac won that show.
Yeah, Behruz was there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, Behruz 2nd and Crizo 3rd, and then me 4th. And then I remember Tyler saying to me, "Oh, you've come back now." 6, because he judged my last show in 2018 as well.
Okay, yeah.
He said, "Where did you disappear to then?" And then he said, "Look, if you carry on this year, you could probably get to the Olympia." And I knew I was just doing a sass again and disappearing, but I knew deep down, I thought there's too much of a gap between me and someone like Bonac right now. So I need to go away and build my physique back up a little bit more. And then next year, when I know I'm closer, and that's when I'll do as many shows as I can. So all I knew was I'm going to do Detroit and then just see where it goes from there. So it was literally the plane back. I was thinking, I have to do FIBO. Like, there is no way I can't.
Ride the wave, man.
That was it.
You must have built up a pretty decent following and fan base from this season alone, with how you come up and you've battled some really damn good bodybuilders and beat some really good guys this year. And now, I think it's just been cool. You're the guy from the UK who's come across, smoked loads of these guys, and like it's just. And then obviously because of that, how social media is now, all the big bodybuilding outlet channels, especially when you did the back-to-back, it's like that must have been like boom, like all social media, and like you did it, man. You rode the wave and delivered the goods.
I think it was by Toronto or Cali when people started to throw around like, how is he traveling, doing this many shows, and he keeps improving. Because after New York, everyone wrote me off, because me and Chris came in with a fuller look, because we were doing a show with big guys, Nick, Regan, Crizo. We both agreed that we'll come in bursting full. So, for example, in Detroit and FIBO, I was 238, 237 on stage. New York, we came in at 248. So
shit, that much of a difference. Wow, that's really crazy.
Full. But obviously, because I'm not structurally big, those extra 10 pounds, they took away my signature sharpness that I bring. And even though I still had striated glutes, on my short structure, like small structure, it didn't look as impressive. It didn't look as defined. So that's why people started saying, Sass is off. He's doing too many shows. He's burnt out.
He's tired. He's fatigued. Yeah, all that shit. It wasn't you purposely did that look.
We purposely did it. And then that night after New York, me and Chris were chatting, and then Chris just turned around and said, I'm going to have you absolutely inside out for California. Like, you're going to blow them up. Yeah, you're going to blow their minds. And that's what we did. We came down from 248 to 234 to 233 on Cali a week later. So
that's nuts. I still think you should have won that, but
Cali was like
beat him the week after.
It felt like that was the first show I thought I can do this one. I can take Regan out. I felt, and by that point, when you say about the support and the fans, by that point, I had so many people just messaging me saying, we're rooting for you this year. Like, people who didn't know me before Detroit.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they were invested in my story, like second, fifth, and then second.
They just want you to get it because you've been putting in the work.
Then I started getting known as the guy who just keeps showing up. And then Toronto, like, I was walking around the expo and people from Toronto were stopping me and saying, we're from Canada, we love Regan, but we want you to win. Like, everyone was just
that's crazy.
People were just so invested. Not everyone, but there was a lot of people that were stopping me that didn't know me a few weeks ago, but they were like,
Yeah.
we've been following your journey all year. We've, the compliments I was getting, people in Germany were coming up, people were bringing me pots of honey, and like they were saying,
No
we couldn't
way.
wait to meet you. Like, I think just getting
Oh
out
man.
there, and because I enjoyed every show and I loved talking to people, and I made the most of just being in all these different places in front of different crowds, and that energy and vibe kind of, the people felt it and they liked it.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of just made me connect with people differently this year. So they were just invested in the story, and they just, and when I got called, when Regan got called second in Toronto, the whole place just blew up. It was like, wow, that,
Oh man.
it was insane. I felt like I was at home. It was just, it was
Yeah.
an unreal feeling. So it was almost like a dream story, like a fairy tale for me.
Well, I think looking at the placings and the year and the travel and just everything that happened, the way you finished it, like you said, beating Regan in his home ground in Toronto, and then obviously doing the back-to-back in Spain a couple of weeks later, and obviously you'd already qualified. What made you do Spain after you'd already qualified? You were just like,
when I did 2024, my comeback show, I loved the way they did the show. Emilio was really nice, the promoter. I
I've
remember after
competed there too. It's incredible, isn't it?
Alicante. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah,
venue.
yeah,
It's ran well. The whole the fire on the stage, like the whole production
yeah,
is really cool.
yeah.
So I
The
said to
DJ was
Emilio,
loud as hell.
yeah, the DJ, yeah, everything. The crowd. So I remember when I said thanks to Emilio after the show, I got fourth, and I said, I'm going to come back next year and do your show because I just loved it. And he kind of said, oh, good. I don't think he believed me because everyone probably says it.
Yeah.
So that was on my mind, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do Spain this year. That was kind of the only show that I had in my mind. I was actually going to
You
start
wanted
with
to do.
Spain, yeah,
Oh, okay.
but
And
we kind
and
of
then
just
Phil
kept
had
moving.
messaged you, change the plans.
Yeah. So we did Detroit, and I thought Spain's quite far away, but along every show I did, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep going. What's the worst? Like, I'm traveling, I'm meeting new people, I'm putting on a show on stage. People don't see this in on the screen. They don't get the same. My condition doesn't show that much behind the phone screen. So people are seeing me live in person, and I'm getting stage presence. I'm picking up checks. So what's
Yeah,
the point
man.
in stopping if
Yeah.
I'm still not completely burnt out? I want to definitely do Spain. So when I that was already planned for me. I booked it before Toronto. So when
That's
I said
funny.
I'm doing Spain, everyone was like, "What?" And I said, and then when I turned up, it was nice because it was fourth last year, and then I told Emilio I was going to be back, and he said to me this year, he goes, "How does it feel? You came fourth last year. This time you're first." And they just showered us with gifts: the belt, the jacket, the ring. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a very nice. The crowd weren't too happy because obviously I beat their home favorite Angel, but
Yeah.
other than that, it was a nice run. I think I'm glad I did Spain. Yeah, it was I was,
What a nice way to cap off the season. Obviously,
yeah,
apart from hold on, someone's rang me. Yeah, apart from the I think the obviously Olympia that's coming up in a
yeah,
few weeks.
oh
Wow,
yeah,
is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks now?
2
2 weeks
weeks,
on
yeah,
Saturday.
2
2 weeks.
days,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I know obviously we've been going just over an hour now, so we can wrap up shortly. But just with regards to the actual Olympia itself, how are you feeling going into that?
I feel great. I mean, I can tell my body's a bit not fresh. Obviously, I've been prepping since January. I've done 6 shows.
Yeah,
Four of
it's
them,
a long year.
yeah,
Yeah.
4 of them in America. Been a lot of traveling. It's been my busiest year in terms of business.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, I know my it's complaining at me a little bit. It's on the edge. But I know I'm going to be at my best. Like, this is where this takes over. I don't want to think anything negative, because you can easily turn a situation around by the way you think. But I feel good.
100%.
I had a nice rebound from Spain. It's been a nice prep so far. We've had to dig a little bit harder than previously in the year, I think, because again, my body's tired.
Makes
But not
sense. It
like
makes sense.
Still nowhere near as hard as what I've done in the past. Like I've not done cardio all week. I've done 20 minutes today. We're gonna be in shape, and we're gonna be probably a couple of pounds fuller because I made sure.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I made sure my upper body kind of stays a little bit fuller this time. I've trained a little bit heavier, a little bit lower on the volume.
Just to maintain that tissue.
Yeah, that density and fullness. Whereas in the past, I kind of just let the volume run away with it towards the end of prep. This time I've made sure I've focused on the work sets and less on the other sets. And I think it's going to be another great show. And I've got faith and belief. Obviously, it's a big week. We've got the athletes meeting on the Wednesday. We've got press conference on a Thursday morning. We've got
media.
Meet the Olympians on Thursday night, and then you got the tan in. But the way I see it, my body and I thrive off those situations. Like long flights. I got stuck in New York for 20 hours on my way to Toronto. My flight got cancelled. My flight got cancelled. I didn't have my luggage. I got put in a hotel in the airport, and I could have crumbled. I could have been like, I'm on stage in 2 days. I've got an athletes meeting tomorrow I might miss. Why? I've never missed a flight in my life. Why is this happening now? Even that whole show, like the day before I left, my kid fractured his collarbone.
Oh no.
We couldn't find nice flights for it. And then the whole thing was like pointing to, and then Leanne texted me. She was like, well, everything that could go wrong is possibly happening. So maybe this is the show. So, and I got off, I remember getting off the flight the next day. I hadn't eaten properly for like 24 hours. Chris was like, you need to send me pictures as soon as you check in. Sent him pictures, and he texted me back saying, how do you look like you've just trained? And I was like, I have no idea. So,
anyone else would crumble to bits, and you just come out looking better.
it's great. He was laughing, and then that was the show that was my first win. Even in Spain, I was tired. I got stuck in a lift one day. I had to break myself out. It was like,
what? My God!
All these little things.
I love these stories, man.
Yeah, they would have crushed me like 10 years ago. They would have just made me think so negatively.
Yeah, but your ability to handle stressful situations and just keep going. Because at the end of the day, the time is going to pass anyway, so you may as well make the most of it.
Yeah,
I love that. Do you have any? I mean, if you're happy to talk about it, like, do you have any aspirations, or where would you like to come
in the Olympia?
Yeah, where do you see yourself placing at Olympia?
I think, granted, we peak 100%. I would like the look of FIBO, which was hard and dense. It was a little bit maybe on the flatter side in certain poses, but if I can bring that FIBO look and a tiny bit fuller, I know without a doubt I can be in the top 10. Because
love that.
Yeah, in that condition, I'll have the detail. I know I'm fuller now up top. So if I can bring a fuller look with that signature detail and conditioning, I know I can bring, and I can pose, like I can outpose anyone on stage. That's why I beat Regan, because it was the posing rounds that separated us.
Yeah,
because we were very close.
It's going to be like that, if not worse, at the Olympia. No, if you're not ready for it, people are just going to flatten off.
I'll pose next to anyone. Exactly, I'll pose next to anyone, and I'll smile the whole way through.
You're good at that, man. Stage presence is on point. Always makes a big difference.
I've got a good few big hits to be able to throw at the Olympia. So I know structurally, size, stage, how much space I take up on stage, that they all work against me, against some of the big guys. I've got enough tools in the box to be able to claw my way into the top 10, but we'll see. To be honest, it's going to be a very good Olympia. I think there's some very good guys. It's a deep lineup.
I fully believe you can as well, 100%. I think looking at how many are there? Is it 18? Something like that?
I think so far it's 18. If Behrus can make it, I think it's 18. We've got one more show, haven't we? Oh, France isn't a part of it, is it?
France is 26 Olympia qualifier, so that's it, done now. It just depends if a week out you get like a Rami jump in or something like that, which I
Oh, right,
can't see
yeah,
happening, but
yeah,
it
of course, yeah,
could potentially.
yeah,
But mate, it's great that this is probably going to be the best Olympia lineup we've seen in a long time, and it's been getting better every year. But this year we've got so many good names. Everybody's really good. There's not really, I don't think
yeah,
there's anyone who, do you know what I mean? Is not in the mix. Like it's
yeah,
going to be
and
fucking
it,
epic.
it is. Even the guys, Samson, he's looking ridiculous.
Yeah, mate, it's a different
Yeah,
look, isn't it, with the more
different
conditioned
look.
look,
He's
it
coming in
seems.
so sharp. Derek is with Chris now, and I know Chris will bring him in. Nick
Mm,
Walker is at his all-time best. Hadi is going to
he's
be
looking like a
Hadi.
freak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Martin's bringing something. I know Andrew's going to come in. It's so deep. You've got guys like Tonio. Regan's been looking phenomenal since Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, you know, you've got Quint. There's so many
Jordan, Brett,
guys. Yeah, Jordan,
obviously.
Brett, exactly.
Yeah, like it's almost names are like, oh fuck me, that guy as well, and you're like, shit, like what the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. You got Bonner.
Trying to,
You got Bonner.
yeah, Bonnet. Trying to do predictions for this is going to be absolutely wild.
Yeah,
It's going to
yeah,
be super
yeah.
hard to do that, but mate, it's I think we've covered a good bit there, and it's honestly it's so good to just talk to you like face to face and just
Oh,
have a
mate,
proper
thank you,
catch
thank
up and
you.
stuff. And like I think I wanted to cover some stuff about like actual bodybuilding, like what you actually do, but also a lot of the like I say, the journey as well, because your journey's been insane. Like, and it's quite different to a lot of guys because when most people take that amount of time away from the stage, that's it. You've kind of retired really, and you've managed to come back, have an absolute resurgence, and here we
Yeah,
are off to the Olympia in a couple of weeks.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad we talked about the different subjects because obviously this is bodybuilding and the food and the PEDs and the training. That's all very important, and we're all kind of different in that sense. So it's good. I still love learning how different people go about their training and stuff. I'm
Mm,
still, I'm still that kid, at heart that just wants to learn all the time. But I also think the other stuff, like the support system, the mindset, where you're on in your life, like
yeah,
where everyone is individually in their life and their mindset. I think that's so important with just being the best you can be, not just in bodybuilding, but anything you try to do. Like it's almost like it has to start there. There's so many people. I say to so many of my clients, almost every day I have to say to someone, don't be so negative. Don't say something so negative about
mm.
yourself. Like, don't, because it's just not going to help anyone, Like, I
It's
think
that
that's
law of
so important.
attraction, isn't it?
Yeah. So just, you wake up and tell yourself how amazing you're going to be at this,
Mm.
no matter
I,
what, how long it takes you, you have to, it has to start there. Otherwise, it's just going to be an uphill struggle. So it's good to speak about that side of things because I've changed my life around with my mindset and self-development. And I think a lot of other guys can really get closer to their potential by just making a few tweaks up there and how they look at life, how they think when they wake up in the morning and what they do and all that kind of thing. That's important too. So
mate,
I'm glad we talked
it's
about that.
mate, I wanted this podcast to be like, it's called Pro Talks. I'm talking to guys who are, elite level people, and it isn't just about training. I want to talk about the stuff that's going on in here, and the good and the bad and the ugly, and what makes us tick and what makes us do, go the wrong way versus because we've all been down the bad path and we've all been down the good path, and it's how do we now make those decisions that make sure we only really go one way and not the other. I know that's obviously just stuff that comes through experience and doing the stupid
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, we have to learn. We have to
Yeah,
learn the
mate,
hard way
it's
sometimes.
indeed, and I think I'm 35 now, so I'm not. I've still got a few more years in the tank left yet, and it's actually really
100%.
inspiring to hear you do what you've done and come back and be even better. Like I love that.
Oh, mate,
It's
you've still got so much room. 35 to 40 is a big gap. Like there's so
mm,
much that goes on. If I go back to 35, my life was completely different. My mindset was different. I was just in a different place. So anyone can turn it around. It's never too late. It just, yeah, you just have to believe it. You just have to believe in yourself and just stay positive.
yeah. Mate, that's so true. And it's great, like you say, like, and if I could go back to say 25 or something, or we're speaking to the guys who are listening to this who potentially are that age, is like as much as like time is not finite, it really isn't, and that's one thing I would say going back, and not to say don't rush things, but just think about things. Don't waste time. That's something that I did a lot when in my younger years, for sure, that I haven't done over the past few years, but years gone by, I wasted a lot of time, and
Yeah,
that's one
me
thing I
too.
think yeah, exactly.
Me
And
too.
now
Me too.
hindsight's a thing, right?
It really is, mate. It really is. Yeah, obviously everything that we've done in the past gets us here, but at the same time, we look back and think, if I just did that at that time, or did something different with my money or my time, or you know what I mean. There's
Yeah,
always something, but all we can do is give advice, and
exactly what I was about to say. Is that all we can do
hopefully
is just,
someone
oh, we
listens.
did this, yeah, pass it down,
Yeah,
and hopefully other guys
yeah.
can listen and learn. Mate, honestly, thank you so much for coming on, Sass. It's been an
Right.
absolute pleasure having you on. And as always, just as a friend, it's always nice to catch up with you. But then from a bodybuilder, it's lovely to hear your story, where you're at right now, and genuinely, actually, we don't do good lucks, do we? We just say,
No, no, no.
let's go and kill it. Let's go and kill it at the
Yeah,
Olympia. We don't
that's
do good
it.
lucks. You don't need luck. We
Yeah,
just, because
do
we've
what
got
you're gonna do.
the work's got you here. But like I said, man, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think now's a good time to wrap things up. Is there anything else you want to like leave out to the world, or anyone you want to thank or say anything to, or anything?
Well, I want to say thanks to you, obviously, for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
It's been
brother.
really cool for me because we always have good chats, even if it's
Yeah,
5 minutes here and there or half an hour. We always kind of
yeah,
connect. So it's been really cool to just be able to sit down, no distractions,
yeah.
and be able to get our stories and questions and just feelings across. So thank you for having me. I'm always
I appreciate
appreciative to
that, brother.
anyone who gets me on their platform and helps me reach my followers as well.
Of course.
And that's it. I just think there's nothing else to say. I think what we talked about kind of says everything. And,
Yeah,
and, and the biggest thing I can say is just think positive and just believe in yourself. Just be the person. Start thinking that you're already the person that you want to be. Like if
mm,
you want to be the best program writer in the world, wake up and just know you are already. It doesn't matter if you're not.
mm,
It's not going to hurt anyone. If you're a boxer and you're boxing Mike Tyson in his prime, you've already won. You have to have that in your head.
yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah,
lose,
yeah,
you lose. But there's no benefit to thinking, I might lose. You know what I mean? Like, just put yourself. If you want to be rich, start acting rich. Like, if you start learning, how to grow your wealth, and bodybuilding is the same. Your mind, your body follows your mind, and you have to go in. Like, yourself, you're getting ready for a big
yeah.
set. If you're positive and you're like ready for it, and you're going to lift it, you've got more chance of getting those numbers and the weight up, rather than
100%.
if you're getting under the
Yeah.
bar and thinking, that's heavy, my
Oh,
wrists are sore.
yeah.
It's
Knees are gone.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're already losing. So just everyone just needs to have more positivity, block out all
yeah.
the bad news that's around us, and just live the life and be the person they want to be.
I think that's a great message to end on. Thoughts become things. They really do. So, mate, thank you so much, man. We'll wrap things there, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
Sass.
Joe. See you later,
Cheers,
guys.
man. Bye bye.